Hi, my name is Raf. I am playing Grinner, a barbarian human running from his past as an ex-soldier, now turned mercenary.
Hey everyone, I'm Jared. I'm playing the character of Luther. He's a Dampier. He is a fighter that specializes in firearms, a bit of an investigator, and I am the great uncle of Grinner.
Hi, I'm Jacob. I'm playing Tithla, the Goblin Ranger. She is a wonderful hunter and medical genius.
Hi, I'm Haz. I'm playing Theodore Ursa, the Satyr druid, who's a kind of a charismatic druid who's unwillingly taken Tithla under his wing as she's followed him through the forest for the past few months.
G'day, I'm Tom. I'm playing Jonor, the Asimir wizard. He is on the pursuit of good and evil, finding out the best and worst in this world, and he's doing that with a little bit of naivety and optimism.
And I'm Owen, the Dungeon Master of our Curse of Strahd campaign. Hello! Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Curse of Strahd. It is wonderful to see all of your lovely faces here again as we dive into our horror 5th edition campaign, The Curse of Strahd. We have been having an absolute blast playing through this campaign, and once again we are joined by special guest Josh from Rolltogether RPG, twitch.tv/Rolltogether RPG, who's playing the character of...
Killian.
And
Killian Maxwell.
That is the only introduction you're going to get.
Yes.
So
we say special guest. Permanent tag along seems to be the
yeah, you're just
the ghost of guest character past, who has haunted this stream since his inception.
We'll just slowly collect guest characters.
That's almost what exactly happened with the Tyranny of Dragons campaign, and then in the final battle, every guest character came back to help with the final battle. Even Akani? Yeah, Akani was there, 100%.
Yeah, no, he came. Yeah,
I had everyone. Every character that a player had played was there for the final battle against the cult, doing stuff.
Yeah, Tom and Jacob's characters are there too.
Yeah, Jacob. Yep. Who did you play? You played Baldur. No, KC. You were KC.
Yeah,
Tom was Baldur. Yeah. Baldur and KC were both there. That was awesome. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Special announcement for those of you who watch us live on Twitch. Last session, we were joking about the concept of the bloodless coup and how they had achieved that on a technicality, and if it had been a Steam overlay enabled game, they would have earned an achievement for that. That was a really good idea. So I have now implemented an achievement system into all of our D&D and Avatar Legends campaigns. For those of you watching us live on Twitch, there is now a channel point reward that you can spend where you can create an achievement that the party may or may not complete. If they are able to complete the achievement, they will gain an inspiration. I'm going to do it very similar to how a lot of the achievements work in Steam, where I won't outright say exactly what they need to do. I'll kind of hint at it so that they don't just so that they're not sort of being pushed to do certain things just to get that sweet reroll of a dice when they fuck up. I want to have it be something that if it's in line with their characters and their characters do it, then they get the reward. So if you are watching us on Twitch and you've got some channel points to spare, hold on to them, because now you can spend them on creating an achievement. There is a little message box that'll pop up. Type in roughly what you'd like your achievement to be, just sort of subtly, and then I'll reach out through Twitch chat, and you can tell me in a bit more detail. Or if you're watching us and you want to jump on the Discord, you can just message me through the Discord, through the Lost Archives Discord as well. I'll set up a little channel for that as well. So yeah, that'll be really fun. I think it's a really good idea, and I'm keen to see what the community come up with. I have also pre-prepared 10 achievements for each campaign that the characters may or may not be able to achieve, and I've set them up. If anyone in the community suggests a similar achievement, I'll just switch it over to whatever you've said. If it's similar, I'll just get rid of mine and make it yours instead. But yeah, got some cool things coming. Now next Monday there is a double D&D session for you to enjoy. Obviously, I've been talking about the Corsair's Cove Talk Like a Pirate Day that's going to be running from Sunday the 17th to Monday the 18th. The full 24 hours of RPG playthroughs. The session that I'm going to be running will be on the 18th at 9 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, wrapping up around about sort of, I think, 12ish. And then that evening, we're still going to have Curse of Strahd. So if you want double D and D experience, make sure you're there for that. There's going to be a lot of booty plundering. There's going to be a lot of... What other... Is there any more double entendre I can squeeze in here? Because we all know sex sells. Quick, tell me your best puns right now for this to squeeze in. I think I've probably hit the limit of what I can come up with and keep a straight face.
Yeah, I'd probably rather not say things that are recorded in, such a public forum. I think that's probably where we're running up against.
I don't think I've said anything that's problematic at all.
Not yet. Yet's the point that we're making.
True. So yeah, that's going to be super fun. Make sure you come and join us over at twitch.tv/Corsairs Cove. It's going to be an awesome live stream event, 24-hour live stream event. So it's very, very exciting. That's pretty much it for fun announcements. I was going to say, I have been playing a little bit of Starfield. I did an impromptu kind of like chill play of Starfield in the Discord when it first came out. I've done a little bit more. I'm actually really enjoying it. It's
I'm surprised.
It's really good. I'm actually really enjoying it.
Yeah, it's so fun.
It's great. I'm very happy. Just because it did get a bit of negativity in the lead up to launch, and then after the preload launch, there were a few things that people took quite a strong stance on. I think the boundaries on planets when they were expecting 100, or no, was it 1,000? 1,000 fully explorable planets to be squeezed in somehow into 120 gigabyte download.
It's not No Man's Sky.
It's not No Man's Sky, and it
also,
shouldn't
they
be
were
No Man's
very
Sky.
clear.
Yeah.
Prior to the game, they're like, most of it is going to be desert and you can go exploring. There's stuff there, but there's, we've got some select areas that are going to be exciting. Like, they were very clear. So people being upset is just people being upset because there's a big AAA game coming out. So, shock horror, people are having opinions.
If there's one thing I've learned, is that the internet can always find an opinion and express it in a way that genuinely makes you wonder how much outrage one person can experience in a single lifetime, compressed into a single moment. It's impressive.
Something entirely trivial.
Yeah. I think one of my favorite, this is a very, very minor aside, but one of my favorite YouTubers, Lubelin, creates songs out of internet drama. Massive shout out to him. They are fucking hilarious. And if you enjoy petty internet drama and people losing their shit over completely inconsequential things, go and check out Lubelin. It is very, very funny. And the songs are genuinely good. I've had them on repeat while I've been redoing part of our floors over the weekend, just listening to these joke songs. They're fantastic. He's like the modern day Weird Al Yankovic. Very, very funny. So yeah, I will potentially do a little bit more with Starfield. Stay tuned. I'm just sort of figuring out schedules and things like that, but I wouldn't mind doing a little bit more with it. I've really enjoyed it. I haven't actually encountered any massive Bethesda bugs, knock on wood. The only one I did have quite recently that was quite funny was I accidentally ran over a bucket too quickly and got shot into atmosphere. Just pew, straight up through the skybox. Which is pretty standard for a Bethesda game. To be perfectly honest, that's a feature. Everyone knows that's how jetpacks actually work, bucket-powered jetpacks. In the future, buckets propel you. That's how they work. It's special technology that's been in development for a very long time. I think NASA are working on something similar, Jacob, you were saying the other day.
Yeah, I can confirm in the aerospace industry. We're very heavily looking into buckets.
Yeah, bucket technology is
Yep.
it's underutilized.
Untapped at the moment. There's so many different forms. There's deep, there's shallow, there's unexplored territory.
If there's one thing a bucket really bucket potential is fully uncontained. There's a lot of potential.
I would say partially
contained because it is a bucket. It does hold things. It's its entire function.
Partially,
so I guess it's partially contained.
Yeah.
So I will keep you posted about that. I'll see how we're running and things like that. But if you are interested in that, let me know. If you could not care less, then don't say anything. I'll take your silence as a no. Alrighty, that's all the fun.
Say it anyway. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm.
Look, I'll be honest.
Say you don't want it.
I don't want it. I guess. Is
in the comments? Get in there.
Oh, I thought you were saying that a lack of consent is not a motivating factor for the internet to then do the opposite of what you say.
Look, I'd be concerned if the YouTube algorithm factors consent into what it does and doesn't show, but
probably doesn't. So yeah, I'll keep you posted. That's all from me in terms of announcements. I haven't got anything else fun to share. I don't think there's anything else really crazy to share. Oh, there is one thing. Raph is not joining us tonight. Raph is still fighting off a pretty nasty cold, and it is his birthday coming up this Friday. So we will give him his birthday inspiration at the session next Monday. But yeah, he won't be joining us tonight. So I'll be playing the character of Grinner, which probably means the session will stay on track and no innocent civilians will be murdered. So
Challenge accepted.
Should be good. Alrighty. Challenge accepted. Shit. That was one of the achievements that I had was have the murder hobo player absent and the characters commit more murder hoboing. The special achievement. Alright, let me do a quick recap and we will jump into the session. So, a new team of the Tempest Adventuring Guild have found themselves lost in the dangerous realm of Barovia. Trapped by strange magics, the group have now travelled westward, away from the sinister castle reportedly housing the immortal ruler of these lands. Having teamed up with another adventurer, Killian, the team have found themselves key architects in a coup. And after they spent a full day preparing, some through the recruitment of guards and others through the removal of key targets, the time of the bloodless coup had arrived. However, as is par for the course with this group, while things started in a promising way and it looks like the plan was going absolutely perfectly, the Baron had been called out, the people taken up to the pyre to be burned, rescued, the distraction to pull the guards and lure them out of the town, going off flawlessly, a wrinkle appeared in the form of an angry vampire searching for revenge following the murder of one of his brides, one of his vampire mates. After ransacking the center of the village square, killing a few innocent civilians, Killian was able to provide a bit of focus for the vampire by revealing that he was the one who had killed the vampire spawn, the vampire mate, resulting in some pretty awful damage being dealt to Killian. The rest of the party rushed in to assist, and after landing some heavy blows on the vampire, found themselves also facing off against a pack of wolves, seemingly under the spell of the vampire, controlled or otherwise working for it. This proved to be not a solid, deadly challenge to everyone, but at least a pretty brutal challenge to Jonor, who did fall to the wolves briefly before being resuscitated. Monster wolves. After the wolves and the vampire had been defeated, the rest of the party tracked the Baron Vargas Valakovich, who seemed to have been taken through the town by the guards that had been responsible for arresting him. After coming across the murdered body of one of the guards, it was pretty clear to the team that something had gone horribly wrong. Arriving at the Baron's mansion, they found the Amelia, captain of the guard, hideously wounded, bleeding out at the bottom of the stairs. And while they were able to save her life, it did seem like the Baron had caused quite a bit of damage. Upstairs in the attic, he had his wife and son at knife point, babbling, ranting and raving about some magic that he needed to be able to fix everything. The party didn't give him a chance and immediately launched into a frontal assault, dealing some heavy damage to him. Seeing an opportunity, his son, Viktor Valakovich, decided to attempt to prevent his father from causing any more harm and rushed over to his teleportation circle, a teleportation circle that had previously been malfunctioning, causing the evaporation of two of the help and the scrambling of Stella Wacht's mind. Jonor decided that this was not going to happen and noped it with a counterspell, resulting in an immense backfire of magical energy, causing Viktor to rise into the air above his teleportation circle and vanish. With the Baron distracted by this sudden display of magic, the rest of the team were able to bring him down, cutting him where he stood, but not before his wife was able to get a final blow with a ruby-encrusted dagger directly into his back. With the Baron defeated, the team decided to search the town for survivors, coming across a few other people who had been injured and bringing them to the church, a safe refuge in this now assaulted town. After taking a moment to triage and assist with those who were injured, head out back, dig graves, or take an inventory of those who were left, or head out into the town and attempt to locate any other survivors, the party have actually had a long rest and also leveled up. Before we jump into the session, we're going to briefly touch on the things that you have gained during your level up. And we're also going to try and feed in a little bit of roleplay as to how each of you have gained these skills, rather than just being like, oh, you've leveled up, so now you can stab twice quickly instead of once slowly. So you're pretty solid move there, mate. No, so instead we're going to sort of look at it from a bit of a roleplay perspective. Now, I'm actually going to put him on the spot and start with Haz. You took a level in Druid?
I did, yes.
Brilliant. Do you want to talk us through what your level up got you?
I mean, mechanically, what it got me was basically second level spells.
Brilliant.
Thematically, it's more of Theo having spent ample time in Bjornling form, becoming increasingly more and more in touch with the nature. I previously been 3 levels in Barbarian after emulating some of the primal rage Gunnar has been throwing on.
Yeah.
And that Fury's started to become more of a kind of a Hulk, that's my secret, I'm always angry sort of thing. So now that that's fading into the background mentally for him, he's channeling more into that nature side of his druidic heritage.
Yeah, and over the last couple of sessions, you and Jonor spent a bit of time, I mean, on a very serious and real level. Like, like picking apart magic and finding flaws in the magic that Victor had been trying to do. I mean, of course you've had a bit of an opportunity to get a greater understanding of how magic works. You've been working with Jonor to do exactly that, to analyze and understand what Victor's magic was doing. I mean, in a very real sense, that's exactly what you were both doing.
Yeah, so yeah, bit more magical will be coming out of Theo in the near future.
Any particular spells you picked up that are super spicy, flavorful?
Druid, so in general I have access to all of them, just I can swap out when I see fit, but what I've loaded in for now is Barkskin, Moonbeam, and Summon Beast.
Absolute. I love Moonbeam. It's such a fun spell.
There's a lot of concentration things, so things I can do while... Drop and rage.
The Moonbeam Rage Bear combo is a well-known meta for a reason. Being able to move radiant damage around a field while raging as a bear is pretty awesome. So
I will have to check if I can rage and do that. The rage might stop the concentration, but at least gives me a couple more. While I'm in.
I think it actually does. I don't think you can concentrate while raging. Yeah.
The other
one
I've
matter
seen...
of damage output versus tankiness when I rage is what.
Yeah. The other one I see a bit as well is the Flame Sphere Wild Shape combo, because obviously Flame Sphere becomes a movable source of damage that you concentrate on. So that's another classic one, but I'm a huge fan of Moonbeam.
I mean, like, honestly though, it sounds like a lot of versatility.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I think thematically, like it makes a lot of sense. If you've been around Luther, who is one of the praises of Lysander, the Moonbeam in this foggy town, I think that also works pretty well.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think I'll be getting a lot of use out of the Moonbeam.
Absolutely.
And it'll give me some options to not go immediately into bear form every time something crops up. So,
no, 100%. It gives you some more versatility. As Jared said, I agree with that 100%. Tom, what did Luther gain on his level up?
Jonor is, surprise, more wizardy.
Wait, did I just say Tom? What did Tom gain?
You said Tom, what did Luther gain?
Oh, why did I say Luther? That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's funny.
Tom, what did Jonor gain?
I think it's because Tom had said something about Luther before.
I'm going to edit that out in post, so now you just look like an asshole being like, Jonor. I'm going to really awkwardly edit in me saying, Jonor. Like, quickly edit that in now.
Here we go. I'll give you a good take. Well, Jonor is going to lean more into the wizard ways. He has got another spell, because level up. He's going to get, Dispel Curse. He has picked up many accursed things along the way, and was pretty intrigued about that soul coin and this dagger and what appears to be a cursed spell book. So he's just holding all of these things, and he's pretty intrigued by it. So I think it makes a lot more sense to him for him to take remove curse. So spell-wise, he's dipping in that. And then he's also got expert divination for his 6th level in divination wizard. I think because he's gone through all the levels of divination spells, a bit of scrying with what's the spell? Clairvoyance, detect thoughts and identify. He's working up and down the spell slots, and yeah, I think it makes sense that he can use those a bit more efficiently, given his portent abilities. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Speaking of, do you want to roll your portent rolls?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. 11,
Middle
9,
attack.
and did you only get 2? I think you got 3.
That's it. Yeah, in like level 14-ish, I think.
Oh, why did I think you got
Okay,
3?
3.
That's hilarious. Let me save those so I've got to copy them as well, hey?
Sweet.
Jacob, what did Tithla get?
Tithla has been trying to help her friends a lot, and particularly in the last day, there was a lot of her friends got really unwell and fell down for little bits. She spent a lot of time studying to hone her medical skills, and in her endeavor to become the medical master that she knows she can be, she's taken a level as a cleric.
Ooh, actually,
Ooh,
given
nice.
that you spent
Wow.
the end of the last session before the long rest learning from a cleric on how to heal the injured townsfolk,
That
that
was
makes
Daddy Petrovic.
That was
a
what
lot
did
of
it.
sense. Yeah,
That was
nice.
absolutely what did it. She's
Did you
been
pick
learning
your
from
domain?
Dad the whole way. Life. It's just she's
fair.
been purely focused on trying to heal, trying to help. Just life domain. Yeah.
Very nice. Very, very nice. That is excellent. That is very, very good. I think that'll come in handy. Jared, what did Luther get?
So, I feel like there's been a lot of combat. We've had a lot of things sort of go down, and over that time span, Luther's been using his pistol a lot, and you've even been remarking on some of his accurate shots. So I feel like he's actually, through experience, has been just gaining a lot of sort of just I guess experience for shooting the gun and getting really nice accurate shots. So I've taken sharpshooter as the feat. So pretty simple overall, being a fighter level 6, so I get ASI.
Brilliant. And sharpshooter is a great feat, especially for a madman wielding a gun. I mean, Luther with his fire hands. And Josh, what did Killian get with level up?
So Killian's level up ties in very similar to Tifla's, very much helping out around with everyone, and as part of that, we'll take note of how caring Tifla is, having not really spent a lot of time with her. And one of the things that I will do is I'll go up to Tifla and I'll go, I have a gift for you. And
Oh, thank you.
you have shown that you are a very caring person. You should let somebody look at your burn marks and help heal those. You seem to take a lot of time out for others, but not enough for yourself. But I will give you this. I know that we are from different planes, so this may not mean an awful lot to you, but it is a symbol of my god. This is my symbol, and it's a neck chain to Kelemvor. And I'll pull one out from underneath my collar, and I've got another one, but it's got a blood stain on it, like it seems to be engraved into the actual symbol. I lost connection with my god a long time ago, but seeing you with these people here has made me drop something on the floor. Seeing
you, as you turn around, you see Father Petrovich standing there with a bowl going, "Oh dear! Oh, that was a broth for that poor woman over there. I better fetch another one. I'll be right back."
Seeing your connection with your fellow party members has made me realize that I do not really want to be alone anymore, and I need to reconnect with my god. And as I clench my one in my fist, it lights up underneath. And I've also taken a level in cleric.
Ooh, very nice.
That's cool.
And have you reconnected with Kelemvor as your patron?
Yes. I have gone grave domain because Kelemvor is either keep people alive or kill people.
Yeah, Kelemvor is a god of death. I think in the Forgotten Realms he replaces... who does he replace? Oh man, testing
it's
my
Jurgle.
knowledge. It is Jurgle, isn't it? The god of dead, the forgotten god of dead. Yeah, you're right. I think you're right. Cool. I like Kelemvor. Really, really cool deity. Very nice. That is excellent. Brilliant. I think think that's going to be 2 clerics should be enough to keep you guys alive, right?
That's good. And I can still slap a healing word in now and again.
Yeah, again, we've said this time and time again. There's no physical component required for healing word. It's in the name. It's a healing word.
I like to think, though, if he does it at range, it forms like a golden hand that just smacks him and heals him.
And like
does
a
now.
mage hand.
Yeah, it does now. That is now canon. Now, there is one thing we will do really quickly before we sort of get into the next morning, and that is the end of the last session. Theo, you headed over to the front of the chapel, back towards the entrance to the main staging hall, where the prayers and where the sermons take place. And back at the entrance hall, I believe you had wanted to talk to Ismark for a little bit, correct?
That is correct.
Yeah. As Ismark sees you approach, you can see he now has a fresh bandage tied around the jagged teeth marks that have been carved into his upper thigh. And as he sits there, Irina walks over holding a mug of water, passes it to him, smiles, and then heads back into the priest's living quarters and the accommodation there, probably fetching more things. As Ismark sees you approach, smiles, nods, shifts his leg a little bit, and gestures for you to take a seat on the pew next to him.
I plop down beside him.
Oh, how you
Down,
holding up?
Ismark, how are you? It's been quite a day.
It's been quite a day. I'm just hoping I don't get rabies from those wolves.
Oh.
This is like smarting a bit.
Sorry, that was my headphones just cut out for a second there. There we go.
I'm just hoping I don't get rabies. Sorry, your ears disconnected for a moment there. Clearly that concussive blow you suffered has knocked you out a little bit. Yeah, just hoping I don't get rabies from those wolves. My leg smarts a bit. It's funny, I wasn't feeling it before, but now that everything's quietened down, it's really aching.
The adrenaline will do that to you. You've done a fantastic job getting Aussie townsfolk here safely.
Thanks.
I know we didn't get everyone through, but and who expects a vampire attack, right?
Maybe we should have expected it. I mean, everything seemed to be running so smoothly. I was a bit surprised there for a moment. Things don't... I'm not putting this right. Let me try again. This land, I know you're newcomers to it, but hope doesn't really exist here. Not in the way I think it does for you, wherever you're from. We hear stories of adventurers who come through here all the time, and it just... the way they talk, the way they act, at first they seem so full of life compared to us Barovians. But then this place does something to them. Sometimes they turn, become sour and bitter. Other times this place corrupts them and they become the very monsters they were promising to save us from. You lot seem different. You've held on to your hope. And I don't know, it seems a bit infectious. You convinced me that we could do something here, that we could do something positive, we could make a change that would make the lives of these people better. And I know it doesn't feel that way right now to a lot of people. They're still grieving some of the loved ones that were lost, but I'm still dealing with the fact that, I mean, there was a vampire attack on this town with an army of wolves, a pack of wolves, and some spawn that he brought with him. As far as I can tell, we only lost a few people. That's incredible. And not only that, we've prevented the ongoing loss that was happening in this town as a result of the Baron. I mean, he was killing people for not smiling. I'm still struggling to deal with that part. That's a level of madness I'm not quite ready to try and understand, but what I'm trying to say in a very roundabout way is thank you, all of you. Your hope, your optimism, it kind of got me a bit optimistic and hopeful. And, I mean, look what we've achieved. Look what you've achieved. The bloodless coup kind of actually seems to have been fairly bloodless.
It could have gone worse. All things considered, it could have been much worse.
It could have been, exactly. It could have been a lot worse. I was expecting a lot worse. No offense. I'm just used to things. We don't normally win in these lands. Not the people who struggle each day to feed their kids, to keep a roof over their heads, to survive the night. We don't normally win. But what all of you have done here tonight, this changes things. More than I think you'll ever realize.
Well, I hope so. Look, without being too much of a downer, we still have a long way to go. And while we couldn't have done this without you and Irina, and you speak as though this place is without hope, but if it was truly without hope, then no one would have gone for this. We managed to get most of the guards, a whole heap of influential people, all on board within a couple of days. So I think hope is never truly gone. It can be beaten down, but never fully beaten. But
it's pretty profound, actually.
If this vampire attack is anything to go by, we are not safe just replacing leadership. It's a great step, and we can actually probably start fortifying the town against these kind of attacks instead of hoping that festivals will keep them at bay.
Yeah. We know that that's bullshit. I guess my question is, I didn't really hear. The vampire seemed like it was talking to Killian and to some of you at the very beginning. Do we know why it was here? I heard something about revenge. Do we know what it was doing here?
We don't know exactly why, but we told you about the other one we found in the crypt here, yes?
Yeah.
There appears to be some kind of connection there, and he seemed pissed off that we killed his vampire friend.
Okay. Look, I can't say I empathize with that. If someone had killed a friend of mine, I too would probably be outraged and seek revenge. But I think
I don't think you'd set a pack of wolves on innocent townsfolk.
Yeah, no, exactly.
I hope.
No. That's exactly what I was about to say. You summed it up much better than I was about to. I was going to go on a long tangent about how there are some types of behavior that are acceptable and some that aren't, and you just did it way better. Yeah, pretty much.
Look, I think trying to talk that into a vampire is wishful thinking.
Yeah, I think so.
That might be where the limit of hope ends up for most people, I think.
That's fair. Gunther had a question. He came over and mentioned before that you'd spoken to him about organizing some wine. What did he call it? He said you were trying to organize some kind of revel.
Well, yeah, where I'm from, while obviously people dying is a time for sadness and remembrance, the best way to remember them is with a good time, and not the Baron's fake smiles go for miles good time. A legitimate time of warmth and fond memories. A party in essence.
I feel like I'm haunted by the phrase "smiles go for miles, all will be well." What was the other one? He had so many.
I try not to
It's not
think
remembered.
of fake happiness and fake frivolity is honestly pretty offensive.
Fair. I actually agree with you as well about the party. It's not normally how we do things in Barovia, but maybe how we've done things. Yeah, I think maybe how we've done things in the past doesn't necessarily mean it's how we do them in the future. I mean, maybe there's a time for change and a time for us to try new things, and this seems like that time. So I was going to ask if you are, I believe you mentioned before that you were thinking about heading maybe over towards Kresk, to the abbey there. There's a healer there. The abbot, I know, is a powerful healer. You mentioned Tithla has probably benefit from some pretty powerful healing.
I'm sure you remember she was in fact green.
Yeah, no, I do remember. This new color is distressing. Every time I see her, I feel like I need to peel off the dead skin.
Yes, it's pretty gross.
Yeah. Anyway, if you were to head in that direction, Gunther mentioned the Wizard of Wines, a vineyard. If you can stop by there and organize some barrels to be sent back, I think that would be fantastic. I would urge you to actually come back with them. Be here for the revel.
I would try not to miss a party, but first we have to get Titla healed, and we also said the now Master Wachter. He wants to take his sister there to the Abbey, so I believe we'll be taking them and trying to get them there safely. It's the least we can do after what that gnome did to his family.
Yeah, I never had the displeasure of meeting Raspit, but from what I've heard...
a frightfully evil character. I have to assume that the vampire attack is in some way related to his behavior.
Oh, really? You think he could be involved?
I don't... It seems too much of a coincidence that a being of such pure evil could rock up and then a vampire comes so soon after.
Yeah, wow. I have to say, I mean, I didn't meet Raspit, but from the descriptions I've heard, it sounds like you're hanging out with a slightly better caliber companion.
Mr. Killian can stay for as long as he likes, but I'm beginning to suspect as perhaps Raspit may have been the man who lives in the castle in disguise.
Oh shit! You think Raspit was?
He is the only one with such evil. And the good lady walked out. It was so sad what happened.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, I've heard some stories about her in the last few days. I think we'll just leave it at that. Hey, we don't need to go into details.
I joked there, but her other son probably did not deserve the fate that Raspip alone.
No, I'm a firm believer in children not paying for the crimes of their parents. But yeah. Look, we don't need to. I understand you've come to an agreement with. Was it Nikolai?
Yes.
Yeah. Carl's the dead one.
Yes, Mr. Nikolai. So we'll take him and his sister to be healed. I don't think there's much here left for either of them anyway. And truth be told, I think it's best for you and establishing democracy here for the old nobility to be a bit out from underneath our feet for a time. But this is why I wanted to come talk to you. We'll be heading off probably as soon as we can. I just wanted to make sure that was okay with you. I'm sure you knew that we would not be able to stay here forever with you and help you continue this political journey. But,
of course, yeah.
I think I can speak for everyone when I say we're pretty happy with the hands we're leaving this in.
Thanks. That means a lot. I don't know. It's going to sound stupid, but I think I've spent so long doubting what I can do that I started to believe other people's doubts till it kind of felt like I was doubting myself. But hey, we did it. If we did this, fuck, we can do anything. Like,
I give a pat on the back. And like I said before, I don't think anyone will be calling you the lesser anymore.
No, thank you for that. Yeah, that'll be nice. It's
and
weird.
Take care of your sister, yes?
Of course. Although I think Irina said she'd like to come with you.
She'd like to come with us?
Yeah, she was talking before, the abbey there. She's long wanted to visit. Didn't go into specifics. Might be best to talk to her about that. But she said she wouldn't mind heading with you past the Wizard of Wines if you are heading in that direction. Otherwise, she'll just accompany you to Kresk.
I mean, I'm sure we'd be happy to have her, but was not the point of our initial partnership to help you get your sister to Vallaki into safety?
Yeah, absolutely. And
is going back beyond the walls wise?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I've had some questions for her, but she insists she needs to speak to all of you about this. And once she's had a chat with you, then she said she'd talk to me. But I don't know. I have to say, I used to think Irina wouldn't really handle herself, but last night kind of changed my perspective on that a bit. I mean,
I heard she's pretty handy with that bow.
Yeah, she skewered a wolf to the wall of a building. It was cobblestone. It was a stone building, and she literally attached a wolf with an arrow to the side of that building.
Metal?
Genuinely scared of her now.
I heard you killed your fair share.
Yeah, but it was just hanging there from its skull, just dangling. Seriously, this thing, I'm still struggling to comprehend this. It was an incredible shot, and if she hadn't then done it 2 more times, I would have believed it was a fluke. She's grown a lot. I don't know. I feel like maybe I've been a bit unfair on her, treating her like a child.
Sometimes we do that to the ones we care the most about. I've been guilty of doing that to my burnt little goblin friend.
Yeah, it's weird, because I still see her as my baby sister, You know, right? Like, I still see her as a young girl who would follow me round while I got into all sorts of trouble. Yeah, it's just an adjustment. I'm getting there.
They grow up so fast.
They grow up so fast. I'm not even that much older than her. God, I sound like an old man today.
It is the time to feel old after a day like today.
Pretty wise, Theo. Don't know if I've told you that.
It comes with being a ageless being from the Fey realm.
Wait, do you not age?
I don't really keep track of it, so I guess not.
I mean, is this a deception check? I believe Theo would believe that he's ageless.
If you've never tracked it, are you really aging?
Yeah, I think that statement was 100% true. I've never really tracked it.
Yeah, it's not really a deception check because Theo probably doesn't believe, probably does believe that he's ageless because, I mean, doesn't really keep track of it. So, I mean, yeah, I guess you just watch as Ismark just kind of nods, looking a bit surprised, like, wow, that's pretty cool. I mean, I wish I was ageless.
You need hooves for that.
You need what, sorry? Hooves?
Hooves.
Wait, sorry, hang on. The hooves are the bit that make you ageless.
Is that not obvious? You do not have hooves, you age. I do have hooves, I don't age.
You also have horns and a tail and great big bushy chest hair. I don't have that.
Oh, that is true, but it's in the hooves.
Noted. If I ever find an opportunity to gain some hooves, I will do so.
Is that the deception check?
Yeah. He's lying. I'm not even going to roll it. The deception check with the hooves, 100%. You can if you want, but...
Yeah. I'll do it.
You going to do it? Okay. 15. Oh, okay, it's pretty good. I will roll for Ismark. Why not roll?
Could go either way for Ismark. Either I'm joking or he's...
It's a 2.
Don't just must get hooves.
Must get hooves. Acquire hooves post-haste. Where's a flesh sculptor when you need one? No, he doesn't say that. Well, I'm going to take a rest. Irina tells me that if I push myself too hard, I'm going to be useless to everybody, so I'm going to take that to heart. Maybe head to bed.
Well, I'll go talk to my friend about Irina, and then I guess we'll talk to her. And look, at the end, it is her decision. If she wants to come, I give you my word, we'll do our best to keep her safe. But
of course,
truthfully, once we're beyond the walls, shit happens.
It's a very apt way of putting it. Shit happens. Yeah. I like that phrase. Shit happens.
It can be the new slogan of Velaki.
Shit happens. Yeah. I was going to go for nothing can dampen the light, but that's kind of good too. I kind of like shit happens. It's better. Well, look. Go get a rest.
Smiles go for miles.
Smiles go for miles. Yeah. Go have a rest. You've earned it. I'll catch up with you in the morning after you've spoken with Irina.
I pat her on the back and get up and head back to the homeboys.
Perfect. You guys all have your sleep, awaken the next morning. The church has emptied a little bit. Over the course of the early morning, a number of people have left, having been treated for their minor injuries and headed back to essentially start rebuilding parts of the town that had been either burned or slightly damaged and demolished by the vampire spawn and wolf attack. As you awaken bright and early, Grina sort of stomping back into the church sometime after midnight, covered in mud and soil, after digging graves all evening and then helping Father Petrovich carry some of the bodies outside. Luther probably coming in last, having done a full search of the town for any survivors and bringing any who were sort of well enough to be moved back to the church. As you all...
Did a couple who were not well enough to move just get left behind? And they were too far gone. We couldn't save them.
Yeah.
They were bleeding out everywhere. They were bloodless when I got there.
Luther's like, go on ahead. I'll take a look at these people.
Licking the bricks.
Yeah. Oh,
fuck!
I've just got a sore ankle. I just sprained my ankle. No, I'm sorry. It's too serious. I'm gonna have to put you down. I brought my straw.
God.
As you awaken the next morning, having sort of gone back into the guest rooms off to the side of the on-site accommodation for the chapel, as you awaken the next morning, Grina sort of sits up cracks his neck a little bit and goes, right, so are we going to talk about Luther or not?
It should probably be discussed, but I think it's probably best for him to do it in his own time.
Am I here?
Yeah, you're there. You all sleep in the room.
So-
Grenna just looks at you and is like, probably best for Luther to talk about what... Come on, Luther, we got to talk about you, Luther.
Right.
We got to talk about you.
Because it's like, because he said in third person, it's like, oh, we're going to talk about Luther. I'm like, am I there?
We can talk. Yeah, like,
bringing this up without me there.
He's looking directly at you when he says this. So we're going to talk about Luther or not? You saved my fucking life. But you also know my name. What's that about,
I look around at everyone. I'm just gauging their reactions. They're all very sleepy.
Yeah.
Is people sort of like interested?
No, very disinterested.
Very
Don't
disinterested.
care about this at all. Yeah.
Journal has not really paid much attention to that. It's just, why would we be talking about Luther?
Theo is obviously fairly attentive to this, being that I was also there for the discussion with all Aramis.
Oh, don't know what you're talking about.
But look, perhaps this could be a discussion better had outside the city walls, before people perhaps get the wrong idea.
Oh, we're alone in this room right now. No one's eavesdropping. I'll go check the door.
What I'll do is real quick. I'll grab some fabric from the room. Then I'll shove it in like the doorway. I'll shove it in any gaps in the window. Anything to make this as soundproof as possible.
It's actually a windowless room, this one.
Okay, cool.
Just the door. So just because like in the cold stone, not great at insulating anyway, windows to the outside in winter would turn this room into an ice bath. So there are no windows. You just stuff a bit of fabric under the door. Grinner goes, oh, that's pretty good actually. It's a trick I used to use in the military.
Well, it's good to hear, Grinner. Friends, I've been dishonest to a particular point. Take my hat off, take my glasses off, which no one ever sees the glasses come off. For a Dampier, do I just have normal eyes, or do they actually show anything?
I think you said that you wanted to have slightly reddish tinted eyes for the character. So yeah, your irises would be like a maroon red in that case.
Okay, yep. I sort of hold the hat on my chest, and I sort of look at everyone. Yeah, I've got well, just all the talk of vampires and stuff like that. I have been a bit apprehensive per se to bring this up. And like I said, I've been dishonest with you all. This is I've been enjoying sort of putting on this accent and sort of playing into this persona per se. But I do think that maybe I should talk promptly like I used to back in the day before I took on a persona, just to keep my identity a secret. My real name is Luther von Kratz, which none of you probably would know. I haven't given it. I actually hail from Oxenfurt. I was a noble, and one night and I look at our friend here, the Satyr, on a night of revelry, you could say,
that guy.
I met a lovely woman. Oh, she was beautiful. The night was pristine, and we were walking along the canal, and that's when she sunk her teeth into my neck. And when I show my neck,
Kinky.
There's the puncture wounds from the day before, but 2 other puncture wounds that are a lot older.
Interestingly, the puncture wounds from the day before look like they've started to heal, but the older ones, the scar tissue looks like it hasn't changed at all. It looks fresh.
So this is my actual voice, the one I used to have in Oxenfurt. I have put on an accent and a persona, not to be... Look, I was on the run. I've been on the run for quite a while. A vampire hunter of a sort, had come in and disturbed the process. So I actually survived. But I was in the process of turning into possibly a vampire spawn, a vampire, I'm not sure. But as we're... That is all details because that's to be... They're pretty trivial. I prayed to my god, Lysander, and somehow, through some mystery, she was able to halt me becoming either a vampire spawn or a full vampire. I am now stuck in this weird state between life and death, that of a Dhampir. And that is where I am now. I look at Grinner. It sucks that Raf's not here, but...
You don't have to go too deep into the family history side of things if you don't want to.
No.
You can save that for later. If you just
Okay.
want to pause
I
that.
might say, I'll pause it.
Because Grinner would accept that at face value and be like, fucking knew it. And then be very satisfied with that answer. So, yeah.
So you mean that all this time we've been going on our escapades to look up random books back in our home realm, searching for lost people? You've been you this whole time.
Jonah's just pissed off he couldn't study you.
I have been... Yeah, I didn't put on an act per se. I put on an accent, a bit of a persona, but otherwise, as I am now, as I was before, that is the Luther that you know. I just not the voice. The voice is... I did like that. I might play into it every
Could you go back to it? I find this one a bit disconcerting. You sound too smart.
Oh, please. I was a noble raised in Oxenfurt.
I find intelligence off-putting.
I sort of say under my breath. I will say under my breath.
Would say that.
I will say under my breath. Oh, my ancestors, my descendants. They, yeah. I just sort of start trailing off. I don't say much, but I'll leave it at that. But yeah, so that is my secret. I'm sorry for keeping it from you for so long. Traveling with a group of people, you don't think they'll take kindly to a Dhampir. Like, I am a day walker. I drink blood, but I keep it to animals and other sort of, processed foods that I can, whether it be a black pudding or something along those lines. I always try my best and to not stray back. I haven't really ever had too much to do with drinking blood from humanoids, so let's keep it that way, shall we?
So there's probably 15 different trips we did along the way. The times we were just camping out in the woods, all that time you could have just drunk me alive.
Oh, but that is why I went into the forest, my dear friend. And that's why I found a little animal of sorts to keep me topped up. So I never had to resort to that. And don't plan on it.
Well, that is kind of terrifying that I've been with you this whole time, and how have you snuck that past me?
Unless you anger me, of course. Joking. It's a joke. Relax.
No, he's not joking. That man's capable of drinking you in a single moment, Jodel.
Oh.
You could have done it any time as well, mate.
This is something.
Any time you're asleep.
I've already...
Go on.
No, here you go.
At that point, he's just going to take a little step back and reactively cast a mage armor.
the mage neck brace.
I love the idea of your mage armor light in the form of plate armor appears around you and then slowly fades out until it's invisible.
Jonah, please. Please, come on. Look at your neck. You do have puncture marks, I think, but not from me. And you haven't ever had any, have you?
Yeah, that was the other guy. So yeah, you've stuck to your word, I guess. Yeah.
I was kidding, Jonah. I just wanted to see you squirm because it's kind of funny. I don't think he's too much of a threat. If he was going to kill us, he would have done it a long time ago. What about that time you got caught in a pit? He crawled down and pulled you out. If he wanted to do anything to you, he would have just done it.
Yeah, I guess that was just a grave just waiting there for me in there ready to go. So, but how? I like to think that I'd noticed these sort of things. I'm just baffled that I didn't detect it.
The
I'm
glasses.
going to have to study harder on this.
Well, he did say it was something different.
Identity of glasses.
He needs his glasses.
You did say that you were something different, a bit different, Lucy. You said you were sort of in the process of becoming a vampire, that it was stopped, right?
Yes, what is called a Dampier. I don't know how many of us there are, but my thirst is not as strong as others.
No,
Probably.
I've never heard of that before. How are you supposed to know look out for stuff if you don't know about it, Jonor?
Yeah, well, you're meant to be scholarly and know these things, so maybe I need to try a bit harder on that one.
Do you want to make a history check to see if you've ever heard of Dampier before?
Absolutely.
Say history or arcana. You're sticking to the absolutely. Really committing to that. 17. As soon as you hear the word Dampier, you have heard tales and legends of people who the vampire curse hasn't fully affected. There's a couple of examples. Sometimes, very rarely, a person can be born to a mortal and a vampire. A half vampire creature, not bound by the same thirst, not a slave to it like vampire spawn or vampires are. There are also, you've heard of curses that can bring a person almost like a form of vampirism. All of these kind of fall under the title of Dampier, a vampire of lesser thirst from a different nature, from a different form. The method that Luther describes, the process, the curse being halted by the intervention of a god, you can't think of any specific examples of it happening before. But I mean, Jonor, this is what your research has all been about. Good and evil, understanding the difference between them. I mean, right in front of you, you have a person afflicted by a curse, which would normally turn people over time into generally evil creatures. Vampire, the thirst generally makes vampires evil by the morals of the rest of society. But a god, a good god, has intervened and stopped it, leaving Luther in this kind of half state between the two. Fascinating. Being your subconscious here.
Oh, and as we were talking as well, I would start to make it even more like fascinating for Jonor to be like, look, I have a few abilities, and I start like showing off the spider climb. So I just start walking on the wall, like as if I'm just walking along a footpath, and then on the ceiling, and then I come back down. So it does come with some perks, some cons too, but some perks.
I mean, Lysander having a bit of light in there, and I click my fingers and get a bit of light cantrip. Is the celestial nature a part of this as well? Because that's right down my alley then.
I don't think that has come from the Dampier per se. I think that has come more from my own dealings. I was a follower of Lysander before, and I'm still a follower after. So that is probably more on me there, not really the vampire nature per se. I see the irony in. Oh, so much. I do see the irony in a Dampier, worshipping a god of the sun. So that has not been lost upon me. But yes, that is my secret. Like I said, don't normally divulge it, but we've been all traveling around for so long and been through so much, I thought I would share this.
Luther?
Oh, yes.
Luther? I'm just wondering why you're telling us now?
Well, in the last fight,
you got caught.
Yes, my true nature was revealed. I was a bit too ashamed to tell you all. I was scared of what it could bring. It could be my death. It could be you leaving me all. It was very... Yeah, I was very nervous. It was a very scary time for me.
So 2 days ago, when we sat down and we said, does anyone have anything else that, they feel like they should share with the group? And the rest of us shared some things, and you sat there and said, absolutely not.
I wanted to, but there was something that was keeping me from saying it.
Okay. And that's okay. You don't need to tell us.
I mean, don't get me wrong. We've only known each other for a week or so, but in that week, I have formed greater friendships than I ever have in, let me look at my notes real quick, 210 years.
Well, if that's the case, I'm sorry.
What are you being sorry for, Tifla? I'm the one that should be apologizing to you.
No, I'm sorry for you that this is the closest that you've ever been able to get to anyone. That you don't have any friends and family that you can trust and spend time with.
Well, yeah, that's
I'm
true.
sorry that you don't trust us enough and that you're only telling us because you had to. So for that, I'm sorry for you.
Well, I have lost family in my time, but I feel like I've gained some, at least in this last week or two. And I apologize, like I said, for not revealing it sooner, but it's not a secret that you normally divulge on first contact with people. So it took some time, and yes, I've been caught out, but I was probably leading to telling you all in at least the next few days or weeks.
Yeah, I would have staked you the first night we went camping.
Ah, thank you, Grinner.
I mean, you say that, but you were happy falling asleep when there was a vampire spawn around in the church back
Happy
in
to
Europe.
expand the list of people I'm willing to stake on the first night we go camping. Don't forget that.
Ismark pointed out my healthy coat of chest hair should prevent most staking.
That's a weird thing for Ismark to be pointing out.
Not as weird as you saying you had to block sound from doors while you're in the military.
I want to talk about that. It's probably a good point. At that moment, you hear a knock at the door. Hello? Are you guys in there?
Is that
Why
Irina?
is there blanket sticking out from underneath the door? Yeah.
Oh yes, I meant to tell you guys last night. Quick chats before she comes in. Irina wants to leave the town with us and come to Kresk. Do we want to let her, or it seems dangerous as?
I thought that the whole reason we brought her here
Well, that is what I said.
was for her safety, so...
I can't hear anything. Are you guys still there?
Yes, in just a minute. We are all naked.
No, we're not here. We'll be back in a minute.
Okay. No, that's fine. I'll come back later and catch up with you guys if you're...
No. It's all good. Please, by all means, come in.
If you're all naked in there,
Should we
I
not
just realized she
discuss
actually
this
won't recognize that voice.
Come on, girls, gotta stick together.
first?
I'd
Should we
rather not right now.
Come back in there. 5 minutes.
Okay.
I feel like we should discuss this first. Not be united before we just say yes or no to her. Because I mean, I agree. We put in not zero effort to make sure she was safe to get here. But then Ismark also said she apparently pins 3 wolves to brick walls with arrows. So, I mean,
Irina, are you still there?
it's pretty cool.
Silence
Hello?
greets you.
Oh.
Sorry, I'll do the Baldur's Gate
left.
3 narration voice.
You hear nothing but silence from the other side of the door.
She's dead. We're gonna save her.
You're sure you heard something?
Are we going to let her in? I'm with Theo. I think we say no.
I never said we say no. I just think it's. I mean, we should at least hear her out. But what do you guys think? I mean, if she wants to come, far be it from me to stop someone going on an adventure. But I think she needs a pretty good reason why.
I think, question I would like to ask all of you first, though, is... Am I still coming with you all on your journeys?
I think so.
What stupid question is that?
Yeah, I mean, I asked.
Yeah, I think you're definitely coming along. That's we would never leave anyone behind. That's for sure.
I almost had
Thank you
almost
so much.
had Greta be like, "Yeah, Tiddler, you hold his legs, I'll hold his arms. We'll deal with this right now." What a stupid question! Quick, stake him.
Yeah, I mean, if you say we can trust you, then we have. I mean, you've not done anything untoward so far, but perhaps do less sneaking around. If you need to go after feed, I think we'd all prefer to know that's what you're doing instead
I'll give
of
you a heads up.
But one thing to remember: if you say that we can trust you, then we'll trust you. But if you say that there's nothing that we need to know about, then we believe you that there's nothing we need to know about. So please deal with that trust appropriately, okay?
Well, you know my biggest secret now, so to be honest, I'm gonna be an open book.
Okay then, I don't know about your book, but I just, as long as we're on the same page, wow.
And the good thing is now, if you had all left me, I don't have to follow you and drink you all in your sleep. So this is by all means great.
Okay.
That was a joke. Yet again.
I'm like 25% certain that was a joke.
I'm not even that much.
Yeah, it's probably a bit high, isn't it?
Note to self: Luther takes breakups poorly.
Coercive.
Possessive.
I mean, look, he's, you know, he had a breakup with a woman on a particular night, and for like 180 years he's run away and lived a whole double life.
Gaslighting.
All right, yeah, fair.
All right. Look, that's taken care of. Shall we go let the Darth Bint in and talk to her about her stupid idea to leave this town?
I don't think we should call her that, but yes.
Grinner is such a fun character to talk as.
Jono, what do you think about letting her come?
I think having a local of this land would be kind of helpful, but is she going to be a bit of an impediment? It's hard to know. It's a bit of good, bit of bad.
I mean, from the accounts of last night and what we saw of her when she fought the oven and the hags with us, she can hold her own in the fight. She's not dead weight. But I am concerned about, I mean, if any of us were to perish, I mean, we know the risks. We accepted the risks going out there, but I'd feel a bit more responsible to have, like, you know what I mean? Like, if she comes with us, all of a sudden I feel very responsible for keeping her alive, which is the only thing that might get in the web.
It also probably puts a target on our backs. Didn't Ismark say that those zombie things attacked their town because of her? Trying to get to her or something.
They did seem drawn to her.
Yeah.
Was it her or was it her father?
We don't know. Ismark seemed to think it was both.
Look, I'll be honest. I think whatever we do past this point, we're gonna have a target on our backs. For us to save Velaki and, you know, throw a lot of, well, the person who shall not be named, sort of people he's put into power, the fact that we've routed them all and made this a better place, I think we've got a target on our backs regardless.
This is true. Yeah, I guess then we hear out. Like, I did sort of promise that we'd go with Nikolai and help him get his sister to Kresk as well. So I guess if we're already bringing them.
Oh fuck! Are they still alive? Do we know what happened to them after the attack with the wolves?
Well, I mean, I haven't checked, but Nikolai and his sister did not come. I assume some of their guardsmen may have died, but looks that's what we had them for.
Hopefully the wolf didn't think she was a cat as well. They'd be chasing her all over town, right, boys?
Or at least one 11th of a cat.
Oh, is that? Do we still think it's that?
I think it's pretty.
No,
much
it's a whole cat. It's an 11th of a soul.
So really, it's 11 cats.
Absolutely.
Ah, you've lost me. It's too many numbers involved.
Either way, we'll bring the cats with us on the way to Kresk. I guess the other question.
So before you move on to other business,
yeah.
AOB, any other business?
Who's keeping minutes, Greta? I've written down fuck all. No, literally, it's what I've written. 2 words. Look, I'll show you.
I think that is what we've achieved thus far in the meeting. So thank you very much. That's all good. I just wanted
It's
to come off
palindromic. We've also achieved all fuck as well.
That's not a palindrome. That's what happens when the people on the bicycles are riding around in circles. And
Yeah,
the
okay.
inside-
Corporate office Grinner is somehow more threatening than regular Grinner.
I've done your KPIs, and I'll tell you what, you're fucking dead, mate.
Velodrome's the joke.
Regards,
we were making
Grinner.
there, everyone. Thank you.
KPI stands for kill point intercept.
Let's go get us then.
Hang on, was
Hey,
Tister
mate.
going to say something, though?
I think.
It wasn't going to be funnier than what we just did. So
Oh,
that was
okay.
why I tried to move past that.
Right, well, that's fair enough. I'll go open the door
Yeah.
then. We're not naked anymore. You can come in now. He shouts down the corridor. As he opens the door and shouts that, you see Father Lucian Petrovich walking past with like a bowl of soup, sort of freezes, looks into the room at all of you there. Morning. Then continues walking. Irina rushes back, looks in, sort of like looking around and goes like, I thought I heard a voice I didn't recognize. Never mind. It's good to see you're looking a bit more recovered. Can I come in?
You may, yes.
I didn't fall for your naked thing, by the way.
Why not?
Because I know Ismark spoke to you last night. I saw you talking.
Yes, we got naked after the talk with Ismark, obviously. Like we sleep naked. It's what boys in Hitler do, back to back.
Wait. Wait.
This is a hole that I don't know if you want to keep digging. I'm gonna give you this one time out. I will erase what you just said.
Fix it in
Bail.
post.
I will cut this so that you know.
I just think it's somewhat unbelievable that you wouldn't believe that we got naked because we talked to Ismark. Is he that much of a turn-off?
That's an achievement. Party sleeps naked.
He is for me. He's my brother. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Gaslight into someone into thinking that you sleep together. Achievement unlocked. I know that you were clearly talking about what I know Ismark told you. Okay, I'm not an idiot. Just hear me out before you make a decision. Okay, that's all I'm asking.
Okay, I guess that's what we agreed. We agreed we would hear you out.
In the spirit of what our new group motto is listening to people.
Oh, sorry, the rising inflection that you add to the end of all of those things make me think you're about to say something else at the end, and you never do. And I'm always just like waiting for you to finish
That's
the sentence.
okay.
It means something very different in Goblin.
Oh, okay. Ismark is my brother, but
Yes.
he's also not my brother, not my
No.
blood brother. We're not relatives by blood.
So the whole naked thing would have been okay then.
Now you're making this harder to cut, Jenkins, so thank you for that. Also, not what they were saying. That was you saying that. So, such a stretch just to make this. Again, I'm going to pretend that you didn't say that.
You said it's like a revelation, but truthfully, you look a bit different to Ismark, so we
No, I know.
we kind of picked up on that.
I know. I don't know who my parents are, but I would like to know. And something that my father, my adopted father, the Baron of Barovia, told me was that when he found me, I was swaddled in a cloth, an altar cloth. He thinks it might have come from Kresk. And I sort of let it go. I wasn't that interested in finding out. I mean, these people didn't want me, clearly, and my father did. And Ismark he was a great brother growing up. He was funny. He was, well, not as smart as me, which meant I could get him into all sorts of trouble. It was perfect. I had a great childhood. But as I've gotten older, I don't know. think losing my father has made me kind of want to know who I am, where I come from. And I know that now might not be the time. So I'm asking, can I come with you to Kresk now, or would you be willing to come back and escort me to Kresk once things are a bit safer? Once we have sorted out what's happening here in Vallaki, once things have died down a bit.
Have you told your brother why you want to go on this trip?
No, I don't want him to think that I am trying to find a new family, trying to replace our father. Because that's not what I'm trying to do at all. I just want to know where I come from. But I'm scared that if I speak to him about this, he might not understand.
In my experience, where you grow up is much more important than where you were born. Where you were born is pretty arbitrary.
I hadn't really thought about it like that. Huh. I don't know, I feel like there's this shadow hanging over me. And I feel the answers are there. You know? It's hard to describe. But I understand if
Theo,
now's not the right time.
I would say knowing your heritage is fairly important. I am a ASMR, and that's guides what I do in my life and how I approach things. So I think that actually makes a lot of sense. So that does kind of check out. But we're walking out into the big bad world, and I for one know the best about the dangers out there. So Irina, how are you going to handle yourself out there?
Once I have repaired my bow, I will be able to stay at the back, away from danger, shooting things that try to kill you. Does that...
Staying at the back, that means we're all up the front. We did the courtesy of taking you from there to here.
Exactly, and I'm really grateful for that, and that's why I don't want to try and press you. I know that... I just wondered if you were already heading to Vallaki... to Kresk now? Maybe I could come with. Or another time. As I said, it doesn't have to be now. I just wanted to know if you'd be willing to... And maybe it makes sense to wait. You could go and scout out Kresk, see what the situation is like there, maybe see if there's anything of interest, and then come back and get me.
Can I roll an insight?
Yes, of course you can. Yes, Journal, absolutely. 11. Yeah, I mean, you can understand where she's coming from, not knowing who her real parents are, who her real family are. No, I shouldn't say real, not knowing who her birth parents and who her birth family are. There is a need there, a desperation in her voice to find that out. For some reason, this has become important to her, and you can understand that reason. I mean, it's not outside the realm of imagination to want to know where you came from. But you do get the sense there's something else there. You can't put your finger on it. And 11 doesn't give you too much, but there's something she's not sharing maybe, or something that's not quite right. Very hard to tell. But you can empathize with what she's saying. It all sounds pretty reasonable. Pretty understandable.
Well, I mean, we were planning on going to Kresk anyway, and I mean, I have just organized the big shindig here for when we go pick up wine and bring it back. So if you want to go to Kresk and then come back, that kind of is our itinerary. But
Thank
if
you.
something were to happen and our return journey could not happen, then I don't know what to do. You'd have to either come with us further or make your own way back to Vallaki, which I think is far too dangerous.
That is
So you might be you may end up stranded in Kresk if you know there's something more important than escorting you back for a party with wine, which to be fair is pretty important, but maybe people's lives are on the line. So
Can you make me a
if that's
persuasion
the risk
check?
you're willing to take.
Yeah, make me a persuasion check. That's a good argument. That's a very good argument. 15. You watch as she kind of nods, clearly looking a bit crestfallen. You make a really good point.
So
What's-
yeah, like I think we're happy to have you. Unless someone else bigger it. But yeah, like I said, you may end up stranded in Kresk.
Oh, and that doesn't sound ideal. Ah, damn it. That is a good point. I hadn't thought of that. Okay. Plan B. Can you ask around while you're there? See if you can learn anything about a baby born to some people there, maybe in the Abbey itself, and just see if you can find anything out.
The one other alternative is you go back with the Wachter family.
I don't know if I fully trust the Wachter family. I learned a lot from some of the people that we were talking to when we were getting Ismark ingratiated with the locals. They sound dangerous.
I agree. I think the mother was definitely dangerous. The one who died, almost certainly a big threat. Nikolai left alone with he seems to just care for his sister. So he's going there for the same reason we are, which is to help someone he cares about. So he contributed guards to help us take the town.
You could also be doing Ismark a favor as well, because he's going to be one of the leaders in the town, and you knowing another big figure in the town, spending 5 days on the road with them, kind of helpful for Ismark if you end up coming back.
Yeah, that's... Okay, I think you've given me a bit to think about.
Just to make a decision. No, that's the full situation. I mean, I think we all understand your desire, but look, there's a bit more to the journeys than may seem.
If I don't decide to come, will you look into maybe finding out who my parents are or were? Is that okay? Can I ask that? If you're already there?
Yeah, of course.
It's a bit much, sorry.
That seems okay. Is it that much? Am I wrong? Again?
No, of course. It's fun. Of course we will find that.
Oh, okay. I thought we're dealing with somebody, another gaslighter here, but that's okay.
Thanks. I'll go and tell Ismark that you're looking into some things for me. I think I'll tell him that you're looking into my parents, my birth parents. I think you're right. I think he has a right to know.
Yeah. It is not good to keep that from him. It's better that you tell him now than him find out why you did it later and think that you were being sneaky behind his back. I think everyone here but Luther could completely understand what finding out the secret after instead of when they had an opportunity to tell you actually feels like, so it's not very nice.
That seems an oddly specific attack on Luther. I don't think I want to know. Thank you. Again, I'll let you know if I'm coming or not.
Okay, we will probably be leaving before the day is out, so yeah, let us know before then. And
sounds like a plan. Okay, I'll go talk to Ismark. And with that, Irina gives you a nod and heads back out. Alrighty. So, my question is there anything you would be doing in the morning? Would you be heading over to the Wachter estate? Did you want to head round, see if you could pick up some supplies while in town? What were you guys thinking you'd
probably
like to
both.
do?
I need to tee it all up with the
Tifla
Wachters and
specifically needs arrows.
Specifically needs
I need nets
arrows.
as well.
Yeah, easy peasy. So anyone who wants to restock on supplies, given that you are now heroes of the town and assisted in saving people's lives, Luther, you are provided with 2 nets for free. Don't have to buy them. they will give you 2 nets. Tithla, your arrows are restocked, quiver arrows are restocked. Any of the spellcasters, any common spell components that are worth less than like 10 GP, your
Boots of
component
haste.
patch.
I assume the town just donates.
Hang on.
Whoa there, Nelly. You're getting a wee bit ahead of yourself there.
Give me a moment, Haz.
I was joking. I was expecting
Calm
rations, sir.
your fucking farm. That's funny. As I said, whoa there, Nelly. Lucy has come in to see what I was making. She's like, what's going on, Dad?
Well,
I do whoa there, Nelly, my labradoodle sometimes for fun, and she's learnt that as, as an actual
summons?
command. Yeah, apparently. Hey, pup. Alrighty. Now, what I was going to do for each of you is as you sort of begin heading out, maybe have some breakfast. Father Petrovich approaches you with Blinsky and with Gunther.
Hi, Dad.
Mr.
Father,
Araseth?
please.
Daddy Petrovich?
I don't like this title
Not just Dad.
at all. The 3 of us came together, and we wanted to thank you. We've put together some items, and we just wanted to thank you for all your hard work.
I went back to the stockyard, and it's not as trashed as I thought it would be. There was a container there for things for the Baron. I have no qualms in giving them to you now. So I went through and got them out. Things I thought you would like. We've got them all ready for you. Blinsky also put together something for you. It's not as helpful or useful. In fact, it's a little bit creepy. No offense, Blinsky. Just want to make sure you're well aware of who provided the actual goods of value to you in this exchange.
We agreed
Are
that
we
they were
going to
from
look
all of
like
us.
Will we
Okay.
look like a bunch of wankers, though?
You're going to look like such a bunch of wankers. Oh. You beat me. I was literally about to do that as Blinsky pulls them out. Blinsky reaches into a little chest and pulls out carved figurines of each of you.
Oh, look what I have made. Figurines of each of you. Is no fun, is no Blinsky.
Yay!
This one of Tithla, I find a very specific color green to make it. Look at this. And moves her arms. A little bow and arrow. Ping, ping. And then I made this one of Killian. And if you put colored water into the back, it drips lifelike blood from the hands. And this one of Jono, I could not get it to light up. But I did something better. If you manage to get a candlelight nearby, all of these mirrors around on the inside make it glow with light from behind, and the wings are somewhat see-through, so they light up, yeah? And also there is a mode you can put it face down in the dirt while it is stomped into the cobblestones by a vicious vampire attacker.
Oh man,
I really
Still
struggled.
fresh wound.
I really struggled to get one that would transform from goat to bear, but I have this one. You turn the body this way, and then you turn these arms, and then look, it is now bear. The head has to come out of the anus. It is the only place I could fit it.
Honestly, this is pretty
Disturbing.
cool. Thank you, Blinsky.
And then this one of Luther. I think you will like this one a lot. It has sticky feet to walk on sides of things.
And you pop the head off, it's a blood flask.
I look at him very
Yeah.
suspicious.
And it has lifelike pistol, finger gun pistol. Pew pew.
So that's very interesting. What was that about walking on surfaces? Did you say?
Yes, it
Sticky
walks on.
feet?
You can stick it to things. I call it sticky foot.
Oh, okay. Is that particularly something I've done, or is that just something you've added?
He gives
Just
you
for the
gives you a smile and a wink, Luther.
I am going to insight check.
What?
Wait.
Blinsky's harmless. Nothing to worry about, Blinsky.
Tifla turns around and
19.
says, Tifla turns around and says, "You told him and not us."
Do you actually?
100%.
Okay, great. Luther, you don't know how, but Blinsky knows. He knows. He knows everything. As you look at this man, just that casual wink and smile. There's no secret safe from this man.
I think in my head, I knew he was trouble when I walked in that.
I knew you were Blinsky when you walked in.
I was sort of that did come.
He's no fun. He's no Blinsky. Just gives you a smile and a wink.
I look at Tifla and I say under my breath, because I imagine she's walked up to me. I sort of say under my breath, oh no, I did not tell him a thing.
Oh, that's really weird then.
Yes.
What do you think? I'm going to make many of these for little boys and girls. He's no fun, he's no Blinsky.
It's pretty cool, I think, actually.
Any other creatures you turn into apart from bear with antler?
There's bear with antler, there's wolf, there's cockroach.
There's drunk.
I did not turn into a drunk.
Sometimes. You don't notice it.
I hold my liquor very well.
This is getting so real.
I know.
You're a
I know
mean
you
drunk.
think you do. You're
You think you've got it under control?
You said you'd stop, Theo.
Holy shit! I'd say put a cork in it, but you won't. You'll just take it out again and keep drinking. Sorry. You watch as Gunther just shakes his head looking at these dolls. Told you, look like a bunch of wankers. I got things actually that you want, no?
What have you brought us, Mr. Arasek?
Oh, come with me. You can look inside crate and tell me what you want. No, that's not. Sorry, that's Blinsky just deeper. Like a bunch of wankers. There we go. I got the voice back.
Angry Blinsky.
I've got lots of things.
Dark
Lots
Blinsky.
of things that you will like. Come, and I will show you. You reach inside chest and you can take what you want.
Thank you.
So the way this is going to work, each of you is going to roll on a magic item table.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. As you are rewarded for your, frankly, heroic efforts to keep the town safe. Sure. What I'll get you to do, we'll do it in order. I will get you all. Actually, no. Let's just have you all. Let's just all have you roll. You're going to be rolling from magic item table C. So could you please all roll me a D100, please?
How does this impact the sanity? Us doing something clearly good.
Oh, again,
Negatively.
getting ahead of me, Jonor. I will get to that. Thank you, Tom. That's a 10 from Tithla. I'll go in order as you rolled them. Tithla, you pull out a potion of superior healing.
I might say a trip to Kresk.
Yeah. I will. So yeah, you get a potion of healing superior. Jonor rolled 69. My man.
Nice.
Well
I
done.
don't understand.
That's fine. That is going to be a 5th level spell scroll. Jonah, we're going to do an additional roll to see which spell scroll you unlock. But actually, to be perfectly honest, that's one of the best things you could have rolled, Jonah. That's a good question. I'll do your 5th level spell scroll in a second. We'll get to that in a minute. Killian, 14. Killian, you also draw forth a potion of superior healing.
Nice.
Luther, 32. Luther, you draw forth a potion, a yellowish liquid with an eyeball bobbing about inside of it. You draw forth a potion of clairvoyance.
Oh,
And
right.
Theo, 89. Oh no. You're not getting that. I'm gonna move
The
it to a
dice are
different
the
one.
dice.
You're
The
not
dice
getting
are
a
the
bag of
dice.
fucking beans.
Yes! Bag of beans! Bag of beans!
Oh, that's funny.
Theo,
Beans.
you reach into the chest and pull out a strange leather satchel. This is, as you shake it, could you please roll me could you roll me 3d4 to see how many beans there are?
Oh, you actually gave it out.
Oh, well, he rolled it. I can't be that guy. 11 beans.
I roll the beans.
That's almost maximum beanage. It's only one off maximum beans. Shit. This isn't good. For those of you who are wondering why I am so upset about a bag of beans, just for the fun of it, could you roll me a D100, Theo?
No, surely. I love rolling a old 100.
86. If you were to plant that bean, a nest of
1d4 plus 3 eggs. A nest of... Where are we? A nest of 6 eggs would sprout up. Any creature that eats the egg must make a DC 20 con save. On a successful save, it permanently increases its lowest ability score by 1. On a failed save, it takes 10d6 force damage from a magical explosion. Bag of Beans is like the slightly lesser deck of many things. It's derailed many a campaign in its time.
Yeah, my first campaign I was running, they got a bag of beans because it was what the book said to give them, and the party got everything. We're out in the middle of nowhere. They're like, cool, we'll go back into town. And they went back into town and they're like, oh yeah, we've got this bag of beans. We'll go into the backyard of this store and just plant one. And up erupted a 60-foot by 60-foot pyramid
Geyser.
in the
Pyramid.
backyard of this shop.
Mummy Lord.
Yep. And then Mummy Lord Temple.
Lord of the town.
Oh boy. Bag of Beans is it's undistilled chaos. So good. Great.
This will be fun.
I have to
We
say,
only have 11 beans.
Can we get chat just to use channel points for magic bean suggestions?
Yes.
Magic
When
Bean
to plant.
suggestions. Yeah, go on.
Add to the magic bean table.
Oh no. Yeah, that's a good idea. Maybe I should create a full dundred of Magic Bean effects. Just for maybe I will do that. I've got a D100 for Wild Magic Surge, like a proper D100. So maybe I should do a D100 for Wild Magic Bean.
Oh, bean
For Bean
surges.
Surge. Oh, I cannot believe you got fucking bag of beans. As a DM, I hate the bag of beans with a passion. As a player, I love them. As a DM, I hate the bag of beans. Okay, cool. That's good.
Would I know what this is, or does this just seem like an ordinary, mundane bag
Just
of
an
beans?
ordinary, it's a little leather satchel, and as you shake it and then open it up to peer inside, there appear to be some dried beans inside. Do you want to roll me a Arcana check to see if you
I'd really like
recognize
to, because honestly,
bag of beans?
me as a player, my first reaction to a bag of beans would probably be to
Eat one.
eat the bean.
If you get a natural one on this Arcana check, don't eat the bean. 18. Yeah, there's something more to this bag that meets the eye. As you pull out the beans and examine them, Theo, your recent sort of like sessions with Joan, or understanding and channeling magic, and sort of becoming a bit more skilled in the art of magical identification. There's definitely something magic about these. There's almost like an octarine glow around them, this faint orange glow. The color of magic is, of course, octarine, as per the works of Sir Terry Pratchett's Discworld. A very faint sort of like orangish, reddish glow around them. These are magical. You do not think eating these is a good idea.
But how bad do I think it is?
You get the sense that eating one of these beans is probably not a good call.
What if I had it while in Bjornling form?
Do you want? I mean, I'm not going to tell you not to do it. I'm just your subconscious. Your subconscious is like, so your rational mind taps you on the shoulder and goes,
Theodore, I don't know if you've noticed this, but I don't think you should put one of those in your mouth. It's all dried and husky, and who knows how stringy it's going to be. It could crumble into powder across your tongue. Don't eat that, Theo. Why don't you eat something better?
I guess the last thing I tried to eat was vampire mist, and that didn't go so great, so...
I think Tisla, knowing you, would know that your first thought is to pop it in your mouth.
The Tiflin's going to quickly snatch one and do it first.
Look, I think the putting in the mouth was definitely more me than Theo. I think he's a slightly more...
Well, Tisla has just taken detect poison and disease, so she's like, I've been looking into some poisons and diseases, and so I can have a look at them and see if they're bad.
Would my 18 and Arcana have let me identify that it was not just a bag of beans, it was a bag of beans? Or do I just think these are some vaguely magic beans?
I was about to get into that, actually. As you examine this, did you want to answer Tiflin's question first, and then I'll... Because Gunther, as you sort of examining this, and he catches you examining it, Gunther nods and goes, I heard tales about this thing. It's a bag of beans. Have you heard of this before? It's some sort of magic thing.
I've purchased bags of beans before. So
No. It's a magical bag of beans. There's a story told to children about a pretty shitty young man who was
got this murderous intent for anything taller than he is. He plants one of these and climbs up this long sprout that grows from the ground and goes and stabs a whole bunch of tall people.
Okay, I don't think there's anything wrong with having those impulses sometimes. Sometimes tall people suck. Sometimes tall people are mean. It's not that abnormal.
He was a
like
normal-sized
sometimes.
person, though, so for him, there weren't that many people taller than him. You're a very short-sized person, so that would be a lot of people that you would want to stab. I think that is a bit concerning, to be honest.
Sometimes, yeah.
Don't listen to that voice.
Well, we have a similar story back where I am from, but
Yeah,
Yes,
I mean, Theo, you've, as he says this, yeah, you've heard of tales of these items. The beans come from the Feywilds, the realm of tricks, the realm of wild magic. Hence why you actually know what these are. You know that these are sometimes gifted to mortals, sold in exchange for something trifling, something petty. Because the point isn't getting something in exchange for them. The point is making the mortal who uses these, making their life miserable. This is something the Fey use as a way of fucking with mortals.
magical trolling.
Magical trolling. I mean, the Unseelie Court, when they created these and started sort of distributing them throughout the realms, this provided entertainment for the fairy king and queen of the Unseelie Court for millennia. They still get kicks from mortals who use these beans, thinking that they're going to climb a bean sprout and find treasure, or think that they're going to be showered with gold at the end of a rainbow. This is bad mojo, man. Is what you would think. Yeah. I mean, you've heard. I mean, maybe
it'll be good.
There's a very small chance, but you've got to remember that that's only there to create hope, so that more people plant the beans and get fucked over by them. Like this is absolutely an Unseelie Court creation. The Fae of the Unseelie Court, the Archfey, the malicious, capricious Archfey who created the bag of beans and created these beans.
Well, pop
That's
them in
what
the
you
old
would know.
pocket. Well, thank you, Mr. Arasek. It'll be a interesting item to have.
I never tried planting them. I don't know why. Maybe I should have tried to plant one.
I think this is best left to someone from the realm they are from.
Okay.
Like me. I'll let you know what happens.
I got it off the body of some dead adventurer who came through and just died. Got his head chopped off by some sort of madman wielding an axe. I didn't loot his body. The Vistani came and sold it back to me, but they told me where they got it from. Do you know how much they charged me for this?
Some?
25.
Yeah, actually, that's not too far off. 30 gold pieces. But
Oh,
I know it's
what a
worth a
good
bit
guess.
more than that, so I'm happy to share it with you.
I think they're very appreciated.
Well, I hope that these small gestures of what we have to spare can help speed you along your journey and keep you safe as you head out back into the wilds. Father Petrovich nods.
Thank you very much, Dad.
No problem, Tithla.
It really means a lot that the two people who have been trying to help people got more ways to help people.
Oh yeah, true. All ways to help themselves.
Would they have also topped us up with some, roughly a crest's journey worth of rations?
Yes, 100%. Yeah. All of your rations are fully replenished. In thanks for your efforts, including 3 bottles of a very nice wine for the road.
Ooh.
Well, you're going to be sending back more from the Wizard of Wine, so I'm happy to send some bottles with you. Keep your thirst quenched on the journey.
Look, Mr. Arasek, you're an alright guy.
I'm a prince among men. I know it.
Look, truthfully,
That is something Gunther would say, and you fucking know it, Jacob.
I don't know what you're talking about. He's not at all sure of himself.
He's very sure of himself. I'm a prince among men. I know it. Well, I promised you some gold to do down payments for the barrels of wine that you're going to get from Wizards of Wine. Here you are. Pulls out a hefty gold pouch and hands it over.
Thank you. I'll take this wine dowry and I'll take it to the Wizards of Wine.
You just give them the bag. It's the usual amount, so if you try and take some out, they'll know.
Fair enough. If I take some out, I'll put some back into my own.
Nope,
Wine
back into
galley.
this one. Back into this bag, not back into your own purse. That's the same as you just taking from it and then adding more to your own coin pouch, what you just said. I'm not a fool, boy.
It's been really nice to see you. Bye.
Hey, where'd my keys go? He starts patting his pockets and Tithla runs off, swinging them around over her head. Awesome. Okay, well, in the interests of expediency, was there anything you wanted to do next? What would be the plan for you guys heading?
Well, I remember you said I got 2 nets for free. I was just wondering,
Yeah.
do they have any other nets in stock? Because I'd buy them all out.
Yeah, they probably would have some more nets for you. Probably like 2 or 3 more. Let me quickly pull open how much nets cost.
I think it's just 1 gold.
I think it is. It's pretty cheap from memory. Nets 5e cost. Love how quickly it is to Google this stuff. 1 gold piece.
So yeah, however much they have, I'll buy them all.
You can
out
buy 3
for the
more.
remaining. Cool. Awesome. I'll add 5 then to my inventory. I'll pay for 3.
Perfect. So yeah, what would be your next move as a party?
Rustle up the Walker boy.
Rustle up the boy. Perfect. As you guys make your way over to the Walker Manor, you can see a large carriage out the front, already harnessed with 3 horses, 1 leader, 2 on either side, ready to go. 2 of the guards at the back of the wagon seated, 1 at the top with the reins in place. Helping his sister down out of the manor house above, down the pathway, is Nikolai. Stella still seems to be acting a little bit cat-like. You can see occasionally she's sort of like preening at her face and ears, sort of looking around and occasionally mewling. Nikolai sort of gradually have to focus and keep her on track towards the cart. As he sees you approaching, he gives you a nod, gestures over to the side, and then waves over one of the guards who comes and helps Stella the rest of the way onto the wagon. As he walks over towards you, gives you a bit of a wan smile. That was crazy last night. I heard the commotion from the town square, and by the time I came down to see what was going on, it was pandemonium. You all seem all right.
Yeah, that was all in a day's work for us.
I'm wondering if I want you to be traveling this close to us then, if this is what your day-to-day looks like, because that was crazy. We're getting ready to go. We're just loading up Stella now. There's a few more supplies we're waiting on, but we're almost ready to take off. If you're ready to come too, I'd be more than grateful for the company on the journey.
It does look like you're missing 11 cages.
11 cages? I thought...
Yeah, for the cats.
Jono, you said that you didn't think we needed the cats anymore. You came over and said that... Do we need the cats still?
That theory, I think we had fairly strongly disproven that theory, so it's baffling that it just continues to permeate.
I feel like it's one of those better safe than sorry things, though, isn't it?
Yeah, if we get those to Kresk, we need the cats then.
I let a number of the cats go, the ones that I couldn't give away to other people. We're not catching them again.
Okay.
Unless we genuinely... You go, Tom.
If you just really would like to have a cat, maybe the favorite cat of...
no, I've got Jacob. I don't need a pet. Don't be silly.
In that case, I think we can just dodge the cat situation. It's kind of triggers me a little bit hearing this continuing.
Oh, Tom, you're my mouthpiece right now, baby. Kind of triggers me a little bit. I'm there with like one eye, like twitching. My dog barks right as she starts sensing my anger rising.
What if we played with the beings in a cat?
Sorry, what?
See, I'm back on board.
Choo choo! All aboard the train.
But that's we were looking to head off soon. Just waiting to see if one more wants to join us, and then we're good to go. Yeah, I think it's better we get out of Vallaki as soon as possible.
Agreed. Great. I'll go get the rest of my stuff. If you keep an eye on Stella in the wagon, we'll set off soon.
We'll get. How about have your guards sort that? Finish up your packing. We'll meet you at the town gate, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, no, sounds good. I'll meet you at the town gates. See you soon. And with that, Nikolai nods and heads back inside, calling a couple of guards with him who begin heading up and grabbing suitcases and packs ready to go, as well as a number of large tents packed up and ready to go that they then place on the top of the wagon.
We're glamping, boys.
Glamping. The next hour goes pretty quickly as you head to the town gates. You pass the Arasek stockyard, which, true to Gunther's word, seems pretty okay. Doesn't seem to have been too dismantled. By this point in the day, it's probably sort of heading to around about lunchtime. Gunther has gone back to the stockyard. He gives you a bit of a wave as he continues to sort through items. Now joined by his wife. This is actually the first time you've seen Mrs. Arasek. She is beautiful. She looks like she's in her sort of early 40s. Very elegant, slightly greying hair tied back into a bit of a ponytail, dressed in fine emerald robes. As harsh as Gunther's face is, with the sort of sheer lines, like some of the rough facial hair, she seems almost very graceful, very noble looking, as she helps him go through the things. And probably what you notice more than anything else is Gunther deferring to her judgment as she sort of like points and goes,
Darling, I think maybe it would be best if we were to maybe stack these a little bit differently. The ones you've got at the bottom, they're the smallest boxes and crates. If there was to be someone to bump into them, these large ones on top, which are heavy and might I note, full of things, they may fall over. Perhaps you would place the empty ones on top?
Yeah, of course. Yes, I'll get to it right away. Yeah. As he begins like rushing back and doing it. An hour passes, and then the familiar trundle of carriage wheels greets you coming down the road. As you look, you see the horses pulling the Wachter carriage. Sitting on the top with the guard who is currently managing the reins is Nikolai. Walking alongside, having a bit of a friendly chat to him, you see Irina. But she doesn't have a backpack or a pack. She just seems to be walking alongside, chatting amicably to him. And as she gets flush with the gates, and with you guys, the carriage pulls to a halt. She gives you a smile, and then holds out her arms to give Tithler a big hug. And then each of you a big hug.
I had to think about it, and I had a chat to Ismark. I won't be coming yet. I think there's a lot here to do, and I think Ismark is my family. I'm curious to know what my past is, where I come from, but not at the expense of abandoning my actual family. So, if you could maybe see what you could find out, and let me know, I would love to know. But my place is here with my brother, my real brother.
Of course, we'll ask around the abbey and the town of Kresk, and if we find anything, we'll either deliver the news to you ourselves, or we'll send a note.
I really appreciate it. Thank you. Well, Nikolai, take care of yourself and look after these crazy people, and they'll look after you. That's what I found.
Yes, of course. Yeah. As long as we're all traveling together, what could go wrong? You watch as Irina sort of like shudders a bit and goes,
Probably best not to tempt fate by saying something like that.
Hopefully nothing involving pastries.
Well, good luck, and I hope to see you all again soon. Thank you.
Likewise, Irina, we'll be back as soon as we can. Hopefully under better circumstances than this time.
She nods, gives you a smile and a wave, and then begins heading back into town. As you begin walking alongside the wagon, the carriage not moving very fast, the horses at a very slow trot. Actually, probably more of a walk. There's a long way. It's more of a walk, a slow walk. As you begin making your way down the main road away from the town of Vallaki, it soon fades into the distance behind you, the forest on either side swallowing it up as it disappears from view.
Can I actually rewind it a little bit, Owen? That's all right.
Yeah.
As we're preparing to leave, I'm actually going to go up to Killian. And I'm going
you
to
do this on the road if you wanted, or does it have to be a rewind?
Well, it sort of is, because no one's actually talked about him joining us on the road or not.
Yeah, true.
I was going to back when we were discussing if you were coming and then we were going to take Irina, and
Well, that's
she'll
what I
come to
mean.
a head naturally.
That's why I need to rewind it, because we're on the road now, and Killian's just like, yeah, cool, I'm here, let's go.
road, man.
As far as I'm aware. So I go up to Killian, I sort of look around real quick, there's no one really around, so I'll sort of use my actual voice and be like, so, Killian, it's been really great having you around. What is on the horizon for you now?
I feel that I need to go on a journey to make myself whole again and to right some wrongs, some decisions that I have made, and find myself again, as it were.
Well, I would like to say that you're more than welcome to join us, but if that is not the case and you need to go out on your own, by all means, good luck. It's been lovely having you around, and I'm sure we shall bump into you again soon if you don't come with us.
Thank you. I am still of two minds if I should go in one direction or come with you. But when we come to that crossroads, as it were, I will make my choice then.
Well, perfect. Well, at least we get to have your company for a bit longer. So that's honestly great. You've been handy. But I will say, and I look around, I might have to keep my distance from your little special, and I point to his blood container. Maybe just don't be so liberal with that while I'm around. I should probably say that I had a little bit of... It was a bit hard to stop myself from running at it in the crypt.
It is definitely not something that you want to drink out of. I will be honest with you. The blood is tainted.
Oh.
It would not do you good to drink it. You may find that you might spontaneously combust from the inside, so don't drink it.
Well, good to know. I wasn't planning on it anyway, but that gives me even more ammunition not to. More restraint.
It's one of the things I'm hoping to rectify on my journey.
Actually, if you do come to Crest with us, maybe seeing, a priest of that order could potentially help you with that curse. What was that, sorry, Thea?
This Abbot is meant to be a very powerful cleric.
He could help you, maybe.
It is part of my idea of, and I'll pull my stump up, it is part of my journey to make myself whole again. I would like the use of both hands again, but also that journey also means finding, re-establishing my full connection with my god, and less with a other being.
No, well said. Well, we all have things to find on the road, I guess. Rediscover ourselves, find lost friends, get rid of certain curses. I look at him with a bit of a knowing look, because I would love to be free of my curse.
One thing I would like to do, and I will walk over to Joan while still talking to Luther, and I'm going to pull out the red ruby that I have. This was given to me by your Dragonborn friend, as something to do with being able to get back to your world. I'm going to give it to you. It is not my world. If I'm going to travel back to where I come from, I need to find my own way. But if this helps you in whatever way to get back once your business here is finished, then then
Well, that is really quite something. That is a fascinating little red rock you've got right there. Well, I'd absolutely love to take it. Are you sure that you can't use it? Because if we manage to make something out of it, it's partly your way out as well. You know, if we make it work, we'll do our best to make it work for you too.
I mean, look, if worst case scenario, if you can't go back to your world, you're more than welcome to come to ours. It's got to be better than this place.
It has, but I have family in my world that I would rather not leave behind, as it were. So if I can't get back to them, I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too sad about it. You know, maybe it'd be better to. Maybe I can get there from your world. I do not know.
Well, I've got a fun little book here, and I pull out the Celestial Travel Book. This one here probably leads us right down the pathway we want, so I'd be venturing with us to then go to your own world. That makes the most sense to me.
Okay, well, well, I'll keep hold of this for the moment then. But if we do part ways at the crossroads, then I will hand you the gem. It would be better for all of you to get home rather than just myself.
That is a wildly generous offer, so that's absolutely fantastic.
However,
that's a very generous guy. Thank you.
However, let's all get back to our homes, shall we?
Yes.
Alrighty. That seems like a good place to wrap up for tonight as you begin making your way across the landscape, headed, hopefully, towards the Wizard of Wine's vineyard. Before we go, though, for those of you who are wondering, I quickly had Tom roll a D100 for the 5th level spell slot. And he got Summon Celestial, which is so bloody perfect. It's not funny. It is, unfortunately, because it's a Paladin Cleric spell, I don't believe it's one that you'll be able to learn and add to your Wizard's Ritual book. But you do have this spell scroll ready to go whenever you want to summon a Celestial. So that's kind of cool. For a,
I think you'll find a good time for that.
Could imagine Jonah at the very end of the campaign when Strahd's there, like, oh, hello there, like, and then does it then. Brings all his angel boys down to help.
Oh.
Could be interesting.
That does make sense.
Well, thank you very much, everybody, from all of us here tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure having you along for the ride. Interesting, like obviously because we had the pretty large battle last session and the session before, a bit of a chance for, I guess, like a moment's rest in between, and a chance to kind of look back and reflect on the journey that they've taken as a group together. So yeah, really amazing RP tonight. We barely rolled any dice apart from bag of beans, which haunt my dreams. So thank you so much, everybody. We will be back again tomorrow night with Avatar Legends and our Return of the Giants campaign on Wednesday night. But from all of us here tonight, that's all there is for the moment. Those of you watching live on Twitch, don't go anywhere. We're going to go raid the Corsair's Cove, rather appropriately. And we will catch you all again very, very soon. Stay safe. Stay well. See you guys all soon. Goodbye, everybody. Bye.
See you, everyone. Bye.
Have fun.